Okay, so I'm going to go kind of fast on this, so if there's anything that you don't understand, please come and see me, and we will go over that together, okay? We've had some like this before. The key statement is this: you want f of x to be 0. So if you go to the f of x column, you look for where there's a 0, which is right here, and you look at the x that goes with it. So that should be your answer. That is what you will bubble in. Number 35. Okay, so we're talking about a print shop. It charges per photocopy, gives a discount, and it says cost is a function of number of photocopies made. So these are the two things we're comparing, the cost and the number of photocopies. It says what is independent, so that means nobody depends on it. So does the cost depend on the photocopies, or does the photocopies depend on the cost? Well, the way I see it, first you have to have a number of photocopies, and that would be your independent. And then depending on that, it's going to tell you how much everything would cost. So I would go with D. Okay, we've got a bunch of points. It says, what is the parent function? Now, if you don't know your parents, if you forgot what they looked like, just look at it on the calculator. This is a line. If you type this one in, we called it exponential back in the day, and it's kind of curvy and looks like that. It looks like half a parabola. This one is a full parabola, and then this one we didn't talk about much, but it looks kind of like that. So we need to just plot all of these points on a graph as best you can and just see what kind of shape they take. Are they curved? Do they look like a parabola? Do they look like that? But once you graph them, you'll see which one they look like. So 3, 11, negative 1, 3, 5, 15, negative 4, negative 3, negative 7. Okay, when I graph my points, I know that was quick, but you could graph them yourself a little slower. It looks like a line. So that would be the parent. Number 37, average rainfall per year is 33.2. So for an entire year, you need it to be 33.2. In the first 30 weeks, we received 9.7. Now I'm going to subtract this 9.7 because 2, 12, 3, okay? Because what this is telling me is how much rain is left in the year that needs to fall. And it says that it's going to rain 1.5 to 2.1 inches per week throughout the rest of the year. What's a reasonable number of weeks needed to reach this rainfall? So I would just take this amount that we have left and divide it by each of these two. So divide it by the 1.5 and get some number, and then do that again and divide it by the 2.1 and get some other number. Look at these two numbers. These are your weeks, so one of these is going to fall in between them, okay? And whenever you do that, I am guessing it's probably going to be the 13. That's my guess, but I'll do it with a calculator later and I will let you know. Okay, number 39. The number of ferry boat trips can be found using this function, okay, and C represents cars. If there are no more than 5,000 cars, what is the range for this situation? Well, it just tells you right there, 5,000 cars. So put in a 5,000 for your C and do the division. And so when I do that, I'm getting 2 into 500. That's going to be about 250. And so since it's no more than 5,000 cars, my answer needs to be less than 250. So it's got to be the set of the integers from 0 to 50. The set of all integers greater than, no, it's going to be D. Okay, number 39, a high school band had a bake sale. The number of cupcakes sold was 4 more, okay, 4 more than twice the cookies. The band sold a total of 52 cupcakes and cookies. How many cupcakes were sold? Well, what I would probably do is, it's trying to find this number for cupcakes, so I would take these numbers and just work backwards. So I would say, well, what if it's 28? You know, let's try that. 28 equals 4 plus 2 times cookies. And if this is what I'm trying to solve out, then I would subtract the 4 from both sides. That's a 24. And then to get the 2 off the cookies, you could put in a letter for this if you want, but you would divide by 2, so this would be 12. So 12 equals the cookies. So then I would check my math. Does the 12 cookies plus the 28 cupcakes add up to 52? And if the answer is yes, I have my answer. And if it's no, I need to keep searching. So I think that these do not add up. Which means that I probably need a bigger number. Let me try 36 next. So if I try 36, does 36 cupcakes equal 4 plus 2 cookies? 2 times cookies. So I'm going to minus the 4. 32 equals 2 cookies. And then I'll divide by 2, so 16 equals cookies. So does the 16 cookies plus the 36 cupcakes equal the 52? I think so. So that should be your answer. Number 41. 2 points on a graph of a quadratic are shown. What's the equation for the axis of symmetry? Okay, if you remember, first of all, a quadratic is supposed to look like a parabola. So it either looks like that or it looks like that, one or the other, okay? Axis of symmetry is the line that goes through the middle of that. So I don't know which way this parabola is going, but if I just pretend that it's going up like that, then I just need to draw a line right in the middle of these, and that's going to be my axis of symmetry. So it's crossing the x-axis at -3, so it should be that one. Okay, number 42. Dishwasher at a restaurant is loaded with dishes, and it's loading the same amount every single time. Based on the data, what's the total number of dishes that will be washed when it reaches 9? Okay, so this table is counting by 2's, so you've got to be careful because it wants to know what happens at 9, which means I only need to go 1 more space, not 2. So what that tells me is I would find how many dishes get washed each time. So I would do the subtraction right here, and it looks like it might be 52. Yeah, it looks like I'm doing 52 dishes each time. You could just subtract and you could get that number. But I'm doing 52 only when I increase by 2 each time. So if I need to increase only by 1, then I'm only going to gain half of that amount. So what's 52 divided by 2? Well, I'm getting 26, so now I only need to add an extra 26 to the 208, and that should give me my answer. So I'm getting 234. Let me know if that doesn't make sense, and I'll help you out. Number 43, we've got numbers in a pattern and then an equation with n. Okay, n is going to be which place the number is in. So in other words, this is my first place term, my second place term, my third, my fourth, my fifth. What I would do, guys, to find the pattern is I would just take a 1 and plug it into all of these and see if it gives me 1/3. And then I would check the 2 and then the 3 and so on. So let's try letter choice A. Okay, is 2 times 1 over 3 equal to the number in that spot? Well, the answer is no, so I can cross that off. So let me try the second one. If I plug in a 1, is 1 squared over 3 equal to that same 1/3? Yes, that one works. So now let's try this equation on the second one just to make sure it still works, okay? So let me plug in a 2 and do the math and see if it does in fact equal the number that's in that spot. So 2 squared is 4. Yes, that one works also. So I would just keep doing that and make sure, maybe do one more. Make sure it works for all of them, and that's how you're going to know that you have the right answer. Okay, 44. The graph below shows the water level in a tank being drained at a constant rate. If the rate of the tank is changed to 3 inches per hour, 3 inches per 1 hour, and the initial water level stays the same, which is right here, how much time would it take to, how would the time be affected? Okay, so right now if you look at your chart, it looks like this is going down at a steepness of 2 inches per per 1 hour. So right now it's 2 inches per 1, 2 inches per 1, because those are counting by twos. We need to draw another graph that now is going down 3 inches per hour, so I need to go down, I'm going to put little halfway marks, that may help us out. I need to go down 3 units, 1, 2, 3, and then go over 1 hour. Go down 3, go over 1, go down 3, go over 1, and do this all the way to the bottom, okay? So this would be like my new line that this is trying to get me to understand. So now compare this time to this time, and it looks like it would take 2 fewer hours. Okay, and then the last one for this video. An architect is designing an office building with in floors, and it'll have a radio, so we have in floors, and then it's going to have an antenna up here that's 15.85 high, some kind of antenna. Each floor is 3.9, so it's 3.9 here, 3.9 there, all the way up. And remember, anytime there's a number that's repeating over and over, that is the number that gets the variable with it, because it's the multiplier, okay? So right off the bat, this has to be true, so I'm going to cross off these, okay? Now you just have to decide, if we want the total height of the building, should I add that antenna on or should I subtract it? And that'll be your answer. Okay, thank you. Next video will be the end of this test.